Thou art perfect then, our ship has touched upon the deserts of Bohemia.
Aye, my lord, and fear we have landed in ill time. The skies look grimly and threaten present blusters. In my conscience, the heavens with that we have in hand are angry and frown upon.
Their sacred wills be done. Go, get aboard, and look to thy bark. I'll not be long before I call upon thee.
Make your best haste, and go not too far the land. 'Tis like to be loud weather. Besides, this place is famous for the creatures of prey that keep upon it.
Go thou away, I'll follow instantly.
I'm glad at heart to be so rid of the business.
Come, poor babe. I have heard, but not believed, the spirits of the dead may walk again. If such thing be, thy mother appeared to me last night, for ne'er was a dream so like a waking. To me comes a creature, sometimes her head on one side, some another. I never saw a vessel of like sorrow, so filled and so becoming. In pure white robes, like very sanctity, she did approach my cabin where I lay. Thrice bowed before me, and, gasping to begin some speech, her eyes became two spouts. The fury spent, anon did this break from her. Good Antigonus, since fate against thy better disposition hath made thy person for the thrower out of my poor babe, according to thine oath, places remote enough are in Bohemia. There weep and leave it crying. And for the babe is counted lost forever. Perdita, I pray thee, call it. For this ungentle business put on thee by my lord, thou ne'er shalt see thy wife Paulina more. And so, with shrieks, she melted into air. Affrighted much, I did in time collect myself, and thought this was so, and no slumber. Dreams are toys, yet for this once, yea, superstitiously, I will be squared by this. I do believe Hermione hath suffered death, and that Apollo would, this being indeed the issue of King Polixenes, it should here be laid either for life or death upon the earth of its right father. Blossom, speed thee well. There lie, and there thy character. There these, which may, if fortune please, both breed thee pretty and still rest thine. The storm begins. Poor wretch, that for thy mother's fault art thus exposed to loss and what may follow. Weep I cannot, but my heart bleeds. And most accursed am I to be by oath enjoined to this. Farewell. The day frowns more and more. Thou'rt like to have a lullaby too rough. I never saw the heaven so dim by day. The savage plumber. Well may I get aboard. This is the chase.
I am gone forever.
I would there were no age between 10 and 23, or that youth would sleep out the rest. For there is nothing in the between but getting wenches with child, wronging the ancientry, stealing, fighting. Hark you now. Would any but these boiled brains of 19 and 22 hunt this weather? They have scared away 2 of my best sheep, which I fear the wolf will sooner find than the master. If anywhere I have 'em, 'tis by the seaside browsing of ivy. Good luck be thy will. What have we here? Mercy on it, a barn. Very pretty barn. A boy or child, I wonder. Oh, a pretty one. Oh, a very pretty one. Sure, some scape. Though I am not bookish, yet I can read waiting gentlewoman in the scape. This has been some stair work, some trunk work, some behind door work. And they were warmer that got this than the poor thing is here. Yeah, I'll take it up for pity, yet I'll tarry till my son come. He allude, but even now. Hello! Hello! What? So near. If thou see a thing to talk on when thou art dead and rotten, come hither. What ailest thou, man?
I have seen two such sights, by sea and by land. But I am not to say it is a sea, for it is now the sky. Betwixt the firmament and it, you cannot thrust a bodkin's point.
My boy, how is it?
Would you did but see how it chafes, how it rages, how it takes up the shore. But that's not to the point. Oh, the most piteous cry of the poor souls is sometimes to see 'em and not to see 'em. Now the ship bore in the moon with her mainmast, and anon swallowed with yeast and froth as you'd thrust a cork into a hogshead. And then for the land service to see how the bear tore out his shoulder bone. How he cried to me for help and said his name was Antigonus, a nobleman. But first to make an end of the ship, to see how the sea flat dragoned it. But first, how the poor souls roared, and the sea mocked them, and how the poor gentleman roared, and the bear mocked him, both roaring louder than the sea or weather.
Save mercy, when was this, boy?
No, I've not winked since I saw these sights. The men are not yet cold under water, nor the bear half dined on the gentleman. He's at it now.
Would I had been by to have helped the old man.
Aye, would you had been by the ship's side to have helped her. There your charity would have lacked footing.
Heavy matters.
Aye?
Heavy matters. But, look thee here, boy. Now, bless thyself. Thou midst with things dying, aye, with things newborn. Here's a sight for thee, look thee. A bearing cloth for a squire's child. Look thee here. Take up, boy, open it. So, let's see. It was told me I should be rich by the fairies. Mrs. Some changeling. Open it. What's within, boy?
You're a made old man.
What?
If the sins of your youth are forgiven you, you're well to live. Gold, all gold.
Oh, this is fairy gold, boy. And 'twill prove so.
Ooh.
Up with it. Keep it close.
Aye.
Home the next way. Oh, we are lucky, boy. And to be so still requires nothing but secrecy. Let my sheep go. Come, good boy, the next way home.
Go you the next way with your findings. I'll go see if the bear be gone from the gentleman and see how much he hath eaten. They are never cursed but when they are hungry. If there be any of him left, I'll bury it.
That's a good deed. If thou mayst discern by that which is left of him what he is, fetch me to the sight of him.
Marry will I, and you shall help put him in the grave.
That is a lucky day, boy, and we'll do good deeds on it.
I, that please some, try all, both joy and terror of good and bad, that makes and unfolds error, now take upon me, in the name of time, to use my wings. Impute it not a crime to me or my swift passage, that I slide o'er 16 years, and leave the growth untried of that wide gap, since it is in my power to o'erthrow law, and in one self-born hour to plant and o'erwhelm custom. Let me pass, the same I am ere ancient's order was, or what is now received. I witness to the times that brought them in, so shall I do to the freshest things now reigning, and make stale the glistering of this present, as my tale now seems to it. Your patience this allowing, I turn my glass, and give my scene such growing as you had slept between. Leontes leaving, the effects of his fond jealousies so grieving that he shuts up himself, imagine me, gentle spectators, that I now may be in fair Bohemia, and remember well I mentioned a son of the king's, which Florizel I now name to you, and with speed so pace to speak of Perdita, now grown in grace equal with wondering. What of her ensues I list not prophesy, but let time's news be known when 'tis brought forth. A shepherd's daughter, and what to her adheres, which follows after, is the argument of time. Of this allow, if ever you have spent time worse ere now. If never, yet that time himself doth say, he wishes earnestly you never may.
I pray thee, good Camillo, be no more importunate. 'Tis a sickness denying thee anything, a death to grant this.
It is 15 years since I saw my country, although I have for the most part been aired abroad. I desire to lay my bones there. Besides, the penitent king, my master, hath sent for me, to whose feeling sorrows I might be some ally, or I o'erween to think so, which is another spur to my departure.
As thou lovest me, Camillo, wipe not out the rest of thy services by leaving me now. The need I have of thee, thine own goodness hath made. Better not to have had thee than thus to want thee. Thou, having made me businesses which none without thee can sufficiently manage, must either stay to execute them thyself, or take away with thee the very services thou hast done, which, if I have not enough considered, as too much I cannot, to be more thankful to thee shall be my study, and my profit therein the heaping of friendships. Of that fatal country, Sicilia, prithee speak no more, whose very naming punishes me with the remembrance of that penitent, as thou callest him, and reconciled king, my brother, whose loss of his most precious queen and children are even now to be afresh lamented. Say to me, when sawest thou the Prince Florizel, my son? Kings are no less unhappy, their issue not being gracious, than they are in losing them when they have approved their virtues.
Sir, it's 3 days since I saw the prince. What his happier affairs may be are unknown to me. But I have missingly noted he is of late much retired from court, and is less frequent to his princely exercises than formerly he hath appeared.
I have considered so much, Camillo, and with some care, so far that I have eyes under my service which look upon his removedness, from whom I have this intelligence, that he is seldom from the house of a most homely shepherd, a man, they say, that from very nothing and beyond the imagination of his neighbours is grown into an unspeakable estate.
I have heard, sir, of such a man, who hath a daughter of most rare note. The report of her is extended more than can be thought to begin from such a cottage.
That's likewise part of my intelligence. But, I fear, the angle that plucks our son thither. Thou shalt accompany us to the place, where we will, not appearing what we are, have some question with the shepherd, from whose simplicity I think it not uneasy to get the cause of my son's resort thither. Prithee, be my present partner in this business, and lay aside the thoughts of Sicilia.
I willingly obey your command.
My best Camillo, we must disguise ourselves.
daffodils begin to peer, with hey the doxy over the dale, why then comes in the sweet of the year, for the red blood reigns in the winter's pale. The white sheep bleaching on the hedge, with hey the sweet birds, oh how they sing, doth set my pugging tooth on edge, for a quart of ale is a dish for a king. The lark, the tirra-lirra chants, with hey, the thrush and the jay, are summer songs for me and my aunts, while we lie tumbling in the hay. I have served Prince Florizel, and in my time won 3 pile, but now I am out of service. But shall I go mourn for that, my dear? The pale moon shines by night, and when I wander here and there, I then do most go right. If tinkers may have leave to live and bear the sowskin budget, then my account I well may give, and in the stocks avouch it. My traffic is sheets, when the kite builds look to lesser linen. My father named me Autolycus, who being as I am, littered under Mercury, was likewise a snapper up of unconsidered trifles. With dye and drab I purchased this comparison, and my revenue is the silly cheat. Gallows a knocker too powerful on the highway. Beating and hanging are terrors to me. For the life to come, I sleep out the thought of it. A prize. A prize.
Let me see. Every 11 weather tods. Every tod yields pound and odd shilling. 1,500 shorn. What comes the wool to?
If the spring hold, the cock's mine.
Oh, I cannot do it without counters. Let me see. What am I to buy for our sheep shearing feast? 3 pound of sugar, 5 pound of currants, rice. What will this sister of mine do with rice? But my father hath made her mistress of the feast, and she lays it on. She hath made me 24 nosegays for the shearers. 3-man songmen all, and very good ones. But they are most of 'em means and bases, but one Puritan amongst 'em, and he sings psalms to hornpipes. I must have saffron to colour the warden pies, mace, dates, oh none, that's out of my note, nutmeg 7, a race or 2 of ginger, but that I may beg, 4 pound of prunes, and as many of raisins of the sun.
Oh, that ever I was born!
In the name of me.
Oh, help me, help me! Pluck but off these rags, and then death, death.
Alack, poor soul, thou hast need of more rags to lay on thee, rather than have these off.
Oh, sir, the loathsomeness of them offends me more than the stripes I have received, which are mighty ones and millions.
Alas, poor man, 1,000,000 of beaten may come to a great matter.
I'm robbed, sir, and beaten, my money and apparel ta'en from me, and these detestable things put upon me.
What, by a horseman or a footman?
A footman, sweet sir, a footman.
Indeed, he should be a footman by the garments he has left with thee. If this be a horseman's coat, it hath seen very hot service. Lend me thy hand, I'll help thee. Come, lend me thy hand.
Oh, good sir, tenderly. Oh.
Alas, poor soul.
Oh, good sir, softly, good sir. I fear, sir, my shoulder blade is out.
Oh, how now, can't stand?
Softly, dear sir. Good sir, softly. You have done me a charitable office.
Dost lack any money? I have a little money for thee.
No, good sweet sir, no, I beseech you, sir. I have a kinsman not past 3/4 of a mile hence, unto whom I was going. I shall there have money or anything I want. Offer me no money, I pray you. That kills my heart.
What manner of fellow was he that robbed you?
A fellow, sir, that I have known to go about with trollmedames. I knew him once a servant of the prince.
Ooh.
I cannot tell, good sir, for which of his virtues it was, but he was certainly whipped out of the court.
His vices, you would say. There is no virtue whipped out of the court. They cherish it to make it stay there, and yet it will no more but abide.
Vices, I would say, sir. I know this man well. He hath been since an ape-bearer, then a process server, a bailiff. Then he compassed a motion of the prodigal son and married a tinker's wife. Within a mile where my land and living lies. And having flown over many knavish professions, he settled only in rogue. Some call him Autolycus.
Out upon him, prig, for my life, prig. He haunts wakes, fairs, and bear baitings.
Very true, sir. He. That's the rogue that put me into this apparel.
Not a more cowardly rogue in all Bohemia. If you had but looked big and spit at him, he'd have run.
I must confess to you, sir, I'm no fighter.
Oh.
I am false of heart that way, and that he knew, I warrant him.
How do you now?
Sweet sir, much better than I was. Oh, I can stand and walk. I will even take my leave of you and pace softly towards my kinsman.
Shall I bring thee on the way?
No, good-faced sir, no, sweet sir.
Then fare thee well. I must go buy spices for our sheep shearing.
Prosper you, sweet sir. Your purse is not hot enough to purchase your spice. I'll be with you at your sheep shearing too. If I make not this cheat bring out another, and the shearers prove sheep, let me be unrolled and my name put in the book of virtue.
Jog on the footpathway, and merrily hent the stile. A merry heart goes all the day, your sad tires in a mile.
These your unusual weeds to each part of you does give a life. No shepherdess, but Flora peering in April's front. This, your sheep shearing, is as a meeting of the petty gods, and you the queen on't.
Sir, my gracious lord, to chide at your extremes it not becomes me. Oh, pardon that I name them. Your high self, the gracious mark of the land, you have obscured with a swain's way. And me, poor lowly maid, most goddess-like, pranked up. But that our feasts in every mess have folly, and the feeders digest it with a custom. I should blush to see you so attired, swoon, I think, to show myself a glass.
I bless the time when my good falcon made her flight across thy father's ground.
Now Jove afford you cause. To me the difference forges dread. Your greatness hath not been used to fear. Even now I tremble to think your father by some accident should pass this way as you did. Oh, the fates! How would he look to see his work so noble, vilely bound up? What would he say? Or how should I, in these my borrowed flaunts, behold the sternness of his presence?
Apprehend nothing but jollity. The gods themselves, humbling their deities to love, have taken the shapes of beasts upon them. Jupiter became a bull and bellowed. The green Neptune a ram and bleated. And the fire-robed god, golden Apollo, a poor humble swain as I seem now. Their transformations were never for a piece of beauty rarer, nor in a way so chaste. Since my desires run not before mine honor, nor my lusts burn hotter than my faith.
Oh, but sir, your resolution cannot hold when 'tis opposed, as it must be by the power of the king. One of these two must be necessities, which then will speak, that you must change this purpose, or I my life.
Thou dearest Perdita, with these forced thoughts I prithee darken not the mirth of the feast. Or I'll be thine, my fair, or not my father's. For I cannot be mine own, nor anything to any, if I be not thine. To this I am most constant, though destiny say no. Be merry, gentle. Strangle such thoughts as these with anything that you behold the while. Your guests are coming. Lift up your countenance, as it were the day of celebration of that nuptial which we two have sworn shall come.
Oh, Lady Fortune, stand you auspicious.
See your guests approach. Address yourself to entertain them sprightly, and let's be red with mirth.
Aye, daughter. When my old wife lived upon this day, she was both pantler, butler, cook, both dame and servant. Welcomed all, served all. would sing her song and dance her turn. Now here, at upper end of the table, now in the middle. On his shoulder it is. Her face afire with labour, and the things she took to quench it, she would to each one sip. You are retired, as if you were a feasted one, and not the hostess of the meeting. Pray you, bid these unknown friends to's welcome, for it is a way to make us better friends, more known. Come, quench your blushes, and present yourself that which you are, mistress of the feast. Come on, and bid us welcome to your sheep-shearing, as your good flock shall prosper.
Sir, welcome. It is my father's will I should take on me the hostess-ship of the day. You're welcome, sir. Give me those flowers there, Dorcas. Reverend sirs, for you there's rosemary and rue. These keep seeming and savour all the winter long. Grace and remembrance be to you both, and welcome to our sharing.
Shepherdess, a fair one are you. Well you fit our ages with flowers of winter.
Sir, the year growing ancient, not yet on summer's death, nor on the birth of trembling winter, the fairest flowers of the season are our carnations and streaked gillivores, which some call nature's bastards. Of that kind our rustic garden's barren, and I care not to get slips of them.
Wherefore, gentle maiden, do you neglect them?
For I have heard it said, there is an art which in their piedness shares with great creating nature.
Say there be. Yet nature is made better by no mean, but nature makes that mean. So over that art which you say adds to nature is an art that nature makes. You see, sweet maid, we marry a gentler scion to the wildest stock, and make conceive a bark of baser kind by bud of nobler race. This is an art which does mend nature, change it rather, but the art itself is nature.
So it is.
Then make your garden rich in gillivores, and do not call them bastards.
I'll not put the dibble in earth to set one slip of them. No more than were I painted, I would wish this youth should say 'twere well, and only therefore desire to breed by me. Here's flowers for you. Hot lavender, mints, savory, marjoram, the marigold that goes to bed with the sun, and with him rises, weeping. These are flowers of middle summer, and I think they are given to men of middle age. You're very welcome.
I should leave grazing were I of your flock, and only live by gazing.
Out, alas! You'd be so lean that blasts of January would blow you through and through. Now, my fairest friend, I would I had some flowers of the spring that might become your time of day, and yours that wear upon your virgin branches yet your maidenhead's growing. Oh, Proserpina, for the flowers now that, frighted, thou lett'st fall from Dis's wagon. Daffodils that come before the swallow dares, and take the winds of March with beauty. Violets, dim but sweeter than the lids of Juno's eyes or Cytherea's breath. Pale primroses that die unmarried ere they can behold bright Phoebus in his strength, a malady most incident to maids. Bold oxlips and the crown imperial, lilies of all kinds, the flower de luce being one. Oh, these I lack to make you garlands of, and my sweet friend to strew him o'er and o'er.
What, like a course?
No, like a bank for love to lie and play on, not like a course, or if not to be buried, but quick and in mine arms. Come, take your flowers. Methinks I play as I have seen them do in Whitsun pastorals. Sure, this robe of mine does change my disposition.
What you do still betters what is done. When you speak sweet, I'd have you do it ever. When you sing, I'd have you buy and sell so. So give alms, pray so. And for the ordering your affairs, to sing them too.
When you do dance, I wish you a wave of the sea, that you might ever do nothing but that. Move still, still so, and own no other function. Each your doing, so singular in each particular, crowns what you are doing in the present deeds, that all your acts are queens.
Oh, Doricles, your praises are too large. But that your youth and the true blood which fairly peeps through it do plainly give you out an unstained shepherd. With wisdom, I might fear, my Doricles. You wooed me the false way.
I think you have as little skill to fear as I have purpose to put you to it. But come, our dance, I pray. Your hand, my Perdita. So turtles pair that never mean to part.
I'll swear for them.
This is the prettiest low-born lass that ever ran on the green sward. Nothing she does or seems but smacks of something greater than herself. Too noble for this place.
He tells her something that makes her blood look out. Good sooth, she is the queen of curds and cream.
Come on, strike up!
Mopsa must be your mistress. Marry garlic to mend her kissing with.
No, in good time.
Not a word. We stand upon our manners. Come, strike up!
Pray, good shepherd, what fair swain is this which dances with your daughter?
They call him Doricles, and boasts himself to have a worthy feeding. But I have it upon his own report, and I believe it. He looks like sooth. He says he loves my daughter. I think so too. For never gaze the moon upon the water, as he'll stand and read as were my daughter's eyes. And to be plain, I think there's not half a kiss to choose who loves another best.
She dances featly.
So she does anything. Though I reported that should be silent. If young Doricles do light upon her, she shall bring him that which he not dreams of.
Oh, master! If you did but hear the peddler at the door, you would never dance again after a tabor and pipe. No, the bagpipe could not move you. He sings several tunes faster than you'll tell money. He utters them as he had eaten ballads, and all men's ears grew to his tunes.
He could never come better. He shall come in. I love a ballad, but even too well. If it be a doleful matter, merrily set down, or a very pleasant thing indeed, and sung lamentably.
He hath songs for man or woman of all sizes. No milliner can so fit his customers with gloves. He has the prettiest love songs for maids, so without bawdry, which is strange. With rich, delicate burthens of dildos and fadings, jumper and thumper, and where some stretch-mouthed rascal would, as it were, mean mischief and break a foul gap into the matter, he makes the maid to answer, whoop, do me no harm, good man. Cuts him off, slice him with, whoop, do me no harm, good man.
This is a brave fellow.
Believe me, thou talk'st of an admirable conceited fellow. Has he any unbraided wares?
He hath ribbons of all the colours of the rainbow. Points more than all the lawyers in Bohemia can learnedly handle, though they come to him by the gross. Inculls, caddises, cambrics, lawns. Why, he sings them over as they were gods or goddesses. You would think her smoke were a she-angel. He so chanced to the sleeve hand and the work about the square on.
Prithee, bring him in, and let him approach, singing.
Forewarn him that he use no scurrilous words in his tunes.
You'd have of these peddlers that have more in them than you'd think, sister.
Aye, good brother, or go about to think.
Lawn as white as driven snow, cypress black as Ermor's crow, gloves as sweet as damask roses, masks for faces and for noses, bugle, bracelet, necklace, amber, perfume for a lady's chamber, golden coifs and stomachers, for my lads to give their dears, pins and poking sticks of steel, what maids lack from head to heel. Come buy of me, come buy, lads, or else your lasses cry, come by.
If I were not in love with Mopsa, thou shouldst take no money of me. But being enthralled as I am, it will also be the bondage of certain ribbons and gloves.
I was promised them against the feast, but they come not too late now.
He hath promised you more than that, or there be liars.
Well, he's paid you all he promised you. Maybe he's paid you more, which will shame you to give him again.
Is there no manners left among maids? Will they wear their plackets where they should bear their faces? Is there not milking time when you are going to bed or killhole to whistle off these secrets? But you must be tittle-tattling before all our guests. 'Tis well they are whispering. Clamour your tongues and not a word more.
I have done. Come, you promised me a tawdry lace, a pair of sweet gloves.
Have I not told thee how I was cousin by the way and lost all my money?
And indeed, sir, there are cozeners abroad, therefore it behoves men to be wary.
Fear not thou, man, thou shalt lose nothing here.
I hope so, sir, for I have about me many parcels of charge.
What hast here, ballads?
Oh, boy, I love a ballad in print of life, then we are sure they are true.
Here's one to a very doleful tune. Our usurer's wife was brought to bed of 20 money bags at a burthen, and how she longed to eat adders' heads and toads carbonado.
Oh, is that true, think you?
Very true, and but a month old.
Oh, bless me from marrying a usurer.
Here's the midwife's name to it. One Mistress Tile Porter, and 5 or 6 honest wives that were present. Why should I carry lies abroad?
Pray you know by it.
Come on, lay it by, and let's see mo ballads. We'll buy the other things anon.
Here's another ballad of a fish that appeared upon the coast on Wednesday, the 4score of April, 40,000 fathom above water, and sung this ballad against the hard hearts of maids. It was thought she was a woman and was turned into a cold fish, for she would not exchange flesh with one that loved her. The ballad is very pitiful, and as true.
Is it true, too? Thank you.
5 justices' hands at it, and witnesses more than my pack'll hold.
Lay it by 2. Another?
This is a merry ballad, but a very pretty one.
Yeah, let's have some merry ones.
Right, this is a passing merry one, and goes to the tune of 2 maids wooing a man. There's scarce a maid westward, but she sings it. 'Tis in request, I can tell you.
We can both sing it. If they'll bear a part, they shall hear 'tis in 3 parts.
We had the tune on it a month ago.
I can bear my part, you must notice my occupation. Have at it with you. Get your hence, for I must go where it fits you not to know.
Whither,
it becomes thine own full well, thou to me thy secrets tell.
me too, let me go thither.
Or thou goest to the Granger mill.
If to either thou dost ill.
Neither.
What neither?
Neither.
Thou hast sworn my love to me.
Thou hast sworn it more to me.
Then whither goest, say whither. Then whither goest, say whither.
We'll have this song out and on by ourselves. My father and the gentleman are in sad talk, and we'll not trouble them. Come, bring away thy pack after me. Wenches, I'll buy for you both. Peddler, let's have the first choice. Follow me, girls.
And you shall pay well for 'em. Will you buy any tape, any lace for your cape, my dainty duck, my dear? Any silk, any thread, any toys for your head of the newest and finest wear? Come to the peddler. Come to the peddler. Money's a meddler. Money's a meddler. The butter. All men's wear up.
How now, fair shepherd? Your heart is full of something that does take your mind from feasting. Sooth, when I was young and handed love as you do, I was wont to load my she with knacks. I would have ransacked the peddler's silken treasury and poured it to her acceptance. You have let him go and nothing marted with him. If your lass interpretation should abuse and call this your lack of love or bounty, you were straighted for a reply. At least, if you make a care of happy holding her.
Old sir, I know she prizes not such trifles as these are. The gifts she looks from me are packed and locked up in my heart, which I have given already, but not delivered. Oh, hear me breathe my life before this ancient sir, whom it should seem hath sometime loved. I take thy hand, this hand as soft as dove's down and as white as it, or Ethiopian's tooth, or the fanned snow that's bolted by the northern blasts twice o'er.
What follows this? How prettily the young swain seems to wash the hand was fair before.
Oh.
I have put you out. But to your protestation, Let me hear what you profess.
Do, and be witness to it.
And this my neighbor too?
And he, and more than he, and men. The earth, the heavens, and all. That were I crowned the most imperial monarch thereof most worthy, were I the fairest youth that ever made eye swerve, had force and knowledge more than was ever man's, I would not prize them without her love. For her employ them all, commend them and condemn them to her service or to their own perdition.
Fairly offered.
This shows a sound affection.
But my daughter, say you the like to him?
I cannot speak so well, nothing so well, no nor mean better. By the pattern of mine own thoughts, I cut out the purity of his.
Take hands, a bargain, and friends unknown, you shall bear witness to it. I give my daughter to him, and will make her portion equal his.
Oh, that must be the virtue of your daughter. One being dead, I shall have more than you can dream of yet. Enough then for your wonder, but come on, contract us for these witnesses.
Come, your hand, and daughter, yours.
Soft, swain, a while, beseech you. Have you a father?
I have, but what of him?
Knows he of this?
He neither does nor shall.
Methinks a father is at the nuptial of his son, a guest that best becomes the table. Pray you once more, is not your father grown incapable of reasonable affairs? Is he not stupid with age and altering rooms? Can he speak, hear, know man from man, dispute his own estate? Lies he not bedrid, and again does nothing but what he did, being childish?
No, good sir. He has his health, and ampler strength indeed than most have of his age.
By my white beard, you offer him, if this be so, a wrong something unfilial. A reason my son should choose himself a wife, but as good reason the father, all whose joy is nothing else but fair posterity, should hold some counsel in such a business.
I yield all this. But for some other reasons, my grave sir, which 'tis not fit you know, I not acquaint my father of this business.
Let him note.
He shall not.
Prithee, let him.
No, he must not.
Let him, my son. He shall not need to grieve at knowing of thy choice.
Come, he must not. Mark our contract.
Mark your divorce, young sir, whom son I dare not call. Thou art too base to be acknowledged. Thou, a scepter's heir, that thus affects a sheep-hook? Thou, old traitor, I am sorry that by hanging thee I can but shorten thy life 1 week. Thou, fresh piece of excellent witchcraft, who of force must know the royal fool thou copest with,
my heart!
I'll have thy beauty scratched with briars and made more homely than thy state. And thee, fond boy, if I may ever know thou dost but sigh that thou no more shalt see this knack, as never I mean thou shalt, we'll bar thee from succession, not hold thee of our blood, no, not our kin, far than Deucalion off. Mark thou my words. Follow us to the court. Now, churl, for this time, though full of our displeasure, yet we free thee from the dead blow of it. And you, enchantment, worthy enough a herdsman, yea, him too that makes himself but for our honour therein unworthy thee. If ever henceforth thou these rural latches to his entrance open, or hoop his body more with thy embraces, I will devise a death as cruel for thee as thou art tender toot.
Even here undone, I was not much afeard. For once or twice I was about to speak and tell him plainly, the self-same sun that shines upon his court hides not his visage from our cottage, but looks on alike. Will it please you, sir, be gone? I told you what would come of this. Beseech you, of your own state, take care. This dream of mine being now awake, I'll queen it no inch farther, but milk my ewes and weep.
Why, how now, father? Speak, ere thou diest.
I cannot speak, nor think, nor dare to know that which I know. Oh, sir, you have undone a man of 83, that thought to fill his grave in quiet, yea, to die upon the bed my father died, to lie close by his honest bones. But now some hangman must put on my shroud and lay me where no priest shovels in dust. Oh, cursed wretch! I knew this was the prince and wouldst adventure to mingle faith with him. Undone, undone. If I might die within this hour, I have lived to die when I desire.
Why look you so upon me? I am but sorry, not afeard. Delayed, but nothing altered. What I was, I am. More straining on for plucking back, not following my leash unwillingly.
Gracious my lord, you know your father's temper. At this time he will allow no speech, which I do guess you do not purpose to him. And as hardly will he endure your sight as yet, I fear. Then, till the fury of his highness settle, come not before him.
I not purpose it. I think, Camillo.
Even he, my lord.
How often have I told you 'twould be thus? How often said my dignity would last but till 'twere known?
It cannot fail but by the violation of my faith. And then let nature crush the sides of the earth together and mar the seeds within. Lift up thy looks. From my succession wipe me, father. I am heir to my affection.
Be advised.
I am. And by my fancy, if my reason will thereto be obedient. I have reason. If not, my senses better pleased with madness do bid it welcome.
This is desperate, sir.
So call it, but it does fulfill my vow. I needs must think it honesty. Camillo, not for Bohemia, nor the pomp that may be thereat gleaned, for all the sun seas, or the close earth wombs, or the profound seas, hides in unknown fathoms, will I break my oath to this, my fair beloved. Therefore I pray you, as you have ever been my father's honored friend, when he shall miss me, as in faith I mean not to see him any more, cast your good counsels upon his passion. Let myself and fortune tug for the time to come. This you may know, and so deliver. I am put to sea with her whom here I cannot hold on shore. And most opportune to our need, I have a vessel rides fast by, but not prepared for this design. What course I mean to hold shall nothing benefit your knowledge, nor concern me the reporting.
Oh, my lord, I would your spirit were easier for advice, or stronger for your need.
Hark, Perdita.
My lord, I pray
I hear you by and by.
He's irremovable, resolved for flight. Now, were I happy, if his going I could frame to serve my turn. Save him from danger, do him love and honor, purchase the sight again of dear Sicilia and that unhappy king, my master, whom I so much thirst to see.
Now, good Camillo, I am so fraught with curious business that I leave out ceremony.
Sir, I think you have heard of my poor services in the love that I have borne your father.
Very nobly have you deserved. It is my father's music to speak your deeds. Not little of his care to have them recompensed as thought of.
Well, my lord, if you may please to think I love the king, and through him what is nearest to him, which is your gracious self, embrace but my direction, if your more ponderous and settled project may suffer alteration. On mine honor, I'll point you where you shall have such receiving as shall become your highness, where you may enjoy your mistress, from the whom I see there's no disjunction to be made, but by, as heavens forfend, your ruin. Marry her, and with my best endeavours in your absence, your discontenting father strive to qualify and bring him up to liking.
How, Camillo, may this almost a miracle be done? That I may call thee something more than man, and after that trust to thee.
Have you thought on a place whereto you'll go?
Not any yet. But as than thought on accident is guilty to what we wildly do, so we profess ourselves to be the slaves of chance, and flies of every wind that blows.
Then list to me. This follows if you will not change your purpose, but undergo this flight. Make for Sicilia, and there present yourself and your fair princess, for so I see she must be, for Leontes. She shall be habited as it becomes the partner of your bed. Methinks I see Leontes opening his free arms and weeping his welcomes forth, asks thee, the son, forgiveness as 'twere i' the father's person, kisses the hands of your fresh princess, o'er and o'er divides him, twixt his unkindness and his kindness. The one he chides to hell, and bids the other grow faster than thought or time.
Worthy Camillo, what colour for my visitation shall I hold up before him?
Sent by the king your father to greet him and to give him comfort.
How?
Sir, the manner of your bearing towards him, with what you as from your father shall deliver, things known betwixt us three, I'll write you down, the which shall point you forth at every sitting what you must say, that he shall not perceive but that you have your father's bosom there, and speak his very heart.
I am bound to you. There is some sap in this.
A course more promising than a wild dedication of yourselves to unpaths waters, undreamed shores. Most certain to miseries enough, no hope to help you, but as you shake off one, to take another. Nothing so certain as your anchors, who do their best office if they can but stay you where you'll be loath to be. Besides, you know, prosperity's the very bond of love, whose fresh complexion and whose heart together affliction alters.
One of these is true. I think affliction may subdue the cheek, but not take in the mind.
Hey, say you so? There shall not at your father's house these 7 years be born another such.
My good Camillo, she's as forward of her breeding as she is in the rear our birth.
I cannot say 'tis pity she lacks instruction, for she seems a mistress to most that teach.
Your pardon, sir. For this I'll blush you thanks.
My prettiest Perdita. But oh, the thorns we stand upon. Camillo, preserver of my father, now of me, the medicine of our house. How shall we do? We are not furnished like Bohemia's son, nor shall appear in Sicilia.
My lord, fear none of this. I think you know my fortunes do all lie there. It shall be so my care to have you royally appointed, as if the scene you play were mine. For instance, sir, that you may know you shall not want, one word.
What a fool honesty is, and trust his sworn brother a very simple gentleman. I've sold all my trumpery, not a counterfeit stone, not a ribbon, glass, pomander, brooch, table book, ballad, knife, tape, glove, shoe tie, bracelet, horn ring, to keep my pack from fasting. They throng who should buy first, as if my trinkets had been hallowed and brought a benediction to the buyer, by which means I saw whose purse was best in picture, and what I saw, to my good use, I remembered. My clown, who wants but something to be a reasonable man, grew so in love with the wench's song that he would not stir his pettitos till he had both tune and words, which so drew the rest of the herd to me that all their other senses stuck in ears. You might have pinched a placket, it was senseless. 'Twas nothing to geld a codpiece of a purse. I would have filed keys off that hung in chains. No hearing, no feeling, but my sir's song and admiring the nothing of it. So that in this time of lethargy, I picked and cut most of their festival purses. And had not the old man come in with a woo-bob against his daughter and the king's son and scared me chuffs from the chaff, I'd not left a purse alive in the whole army.
Nay, but my letters by this means being there so soon as you arrive shall clear that doubt.
And those that you'll procure from King Leontes
shall satisfy your father.
Happy be you. All that you speak shows fair.
Who have we here? We'll make an instrument of this, amid nothing may give us aid.
If they have overheard me now, why, hanging.
Oh, no, good fellow. Why shakest thou so? Fear not, man, he has no harm intended to thee.
I am a poor fellow, sir.
Why, be so still, here's nobody will steal that from thee. Yet for the outside of thy poverty we must make an exchange. Therefore discase thee instantly.
My lord,
thou must think there's a necessity in it. And change garments with this gentleman. And though the pennyworth on his side be the worst, yet hold thee, there's some boot.
I am a poor fellow, sir. I know you well enough.
They prithee dispatch, the gentleman is half flayed already.
Are you in earnest, sir? I smell the trick on't.
Dispatch, I prithee.
Indeed, I have had earnest, but I cannot with conscience take it.
Unbuckle!
Unbuckle! No,
Unbuckle! Fortunate mistress, let my prophecy come home to ye. You must retire yourself into some cover, take your sweetheart's hat, and pluck it o'er your brows, muffle your face, dismantle you, and as you can, disliken the truth of your own seeming, that you may, for I do fear eyes over, to shipboard get undescribed.
I see the play so lies that I must bear a part.
No remedy. Have you done that?
Should I now meet my father, he would not call me son.
Nay, you shall have no hat. Come, lady, come. Farewell, my friend.
Adieu, sir.
Oh, Perdita, what have we twain forgot? Pray you a word.
What I do next shall be to tell the king of this escape and whither they are bound, wherein my hope is I shall so prevail to force him after, in whose company I shall review Sicilia, for whose sight I have a woman's longing.
Fortune speed us! Thus we set on, Camillo, to the seaside.
The swifter speed, the better!
I understand the business. I hear it. To have an open ear, a quick eye, and a nimble hand is necessary for a cut purse. A good nose is requisite also to smell out work for the other senses. I see this is the time that the unjust man doth thrive. What an exchange had this been without boot? What a boot is here with this exchange? Sure the gods do this year connive at us, and we may do anything extempore. The prince himself is about a piece of iniquity, stealing away from his father with his clog at his heels. If I thought it were a piece of honesty to acquaint the king withal, I would not do it. I hold it the more knavery to conceal it, and therein am I constant to my profession. Aside, here is more matter for a hot brain. Every lane's end, every shop, church, session, hanging, yields a careful man work.
See, what a man you are now. There is no other way but to tell the king she's a changeling, and none of your flesh and blood.
Nay, but hear me.
Oh,
go to, then.
She being none of your flesh and blood has not offended the king, and so your flesh and blood is not to be punished by him. Show those things you found about her, those secret things, all but what she has with her. This being done, let the law go whistle, I warrant you.
I will tell the king all, every word.
Aye.
Yea, and his son's pranks too. Who, I may say, is no honest man, neither to his father nor to me, to go about to make me the king's brother-in-law.
Indeed, brother-in-law was the farthest off you could have been to him, and then your blood had been the dearer by I know not how much an ounce.
Very wisely, puppies. Well, let us to the king. There is that in this fardel will make him scratch his beard. I know not what impediment this complaint may be to the flight of my master.
Pray heartily he be at palace.
Though I'm not naturally honest, I am so sometimes by chance. Let me pocket up my peddler's excrement. How now, rascals? Whither are you bound? To the palace, like you worship.
Your affairs there? What? With whom? The condition of that fardel? The place of your dwelling? Your names? Your ages? Of what having, breeding, and anything that is fitting to be known? Discover!
Oh, we are but plain fellows, sir.
A lie! You are rough and hairy. Let me have no lying. It becomes none but tradesmen, and they often give us soldiers the lie. But we pay them for it with stamped coin, not stabbing steel. Therefore, they do not give us the lie.
Your worship would like to have given us one if you had not taken yourself with the manor.
Are you
courtier and like you, sir?
Whether it like me or no, I am a courtier. Seest thou not the air of the court in these enfoldings? Hath not my gait in it the measure of the court? Receives not thy nose court odour from it? Reflect I not on thy baseness, court contempt? Think'st thou, for that I insinuate or toze from thee thy business, I am therefore no courtier? I am a courtier cap a pay, and one that will either push on or pluck back thy business there, whereon I command thee to open thy affair.
My business, sir, is to the king.
What advocate hast thou to him?
I know nothing like you.
Advocate's the court word for a pheasant. Say you have none.
None, sir. I have no pheasant, cock nor hen.
How blessed are we that are not simple men. Yet nature might have made me as these are, therefore I will not disdain.
This cannot be but a great courtier.
His garments are rich, but he wears them not handsomely.
He seems to be the more noble in being fantastical. A great man, I'll warrant. I know by the picking on's teeth.
The fardel there! What's the fardel? Wherefore that box?
Sir, there lies such secrets in this fardel and box, which none must know but the king, and which he shall know within this hour, if I may come to the speech of him.
Age, thou hast lost thy labour.
Why, sir?
The king is not at the palace. He is gone aboard a new ship to purge melancholy and air himself. For if thou beest capable of things serious, thou must know the king is full of grief.
So 'tis said, sir, about his son that should have married a shepherd's daughter.
If that shepherd be not now in handfast, let him fly. The curses he shall have, the tortures he shall feel, will break the back of man, the heart of monster.
Think you so, sir?
Not he alone shall suffer what wit can make heavy and vengeance bitter, but those that are germane to him, though removed 50 times, shall all come under the hangman, which, though it be great pity, yet it is necessary. An old sheep-whistling rogue, a ram-tender, to offer to have his daughter come into grace? Some say he shall be stoned, but that death is too soft for him, say I. Draw our throne into a sheep-cote. All deaths are too few, the sharpest too easy.
Has the old man there a son, sir? Do you hear it like you, sir?
He has a son who shall be flayed alive, then anointed over with honey, set on the head of a wasp's nest, then stand till he be 3/4 under dram dead. Then recovered again with the aqua vitae or some other hot infusion. Then, raw as he is, and in the hottest day prognostication proclaims, should he be set against a brick wall, the sun looking with a southward eye upon him, where he is to behold him with flies blown to death. But what talk we of these traitorly rascals, whose miseries are to be smiled at, their offences being so capital? Tell me, for you seem to be honest, plain men, what you have to the king. Being something gently considered, I'll bring you where he is aboard, tender your persons to his presence, whisper him in your behalfs. And if it be in man, besides the king, to effect your suits, here is a man shall do it.
He seems to be of great authority. Close with him, give him gold. And though authority be a stubborn bear, yet he is oft led by the nose with gold. Show the inside of your purse to the outside of his hand, and no more ado. Remember, stoned and flayed alive.
And please you, sir, to undertake the business for us. Here is that gold I have. I'll make it as much more and leave this young man in pawn till I bring it to you.
After I have done what I promised.
Aye, sir.
Well, give me the moiety. Are you a party in this business?
In some sort, sir. But though my case is a pitiful one, I hope I shall not be flayed out of it.
Oh, that's the case of the shepherd's son. Hang him! He'll be made an example.
Comfort, good comfort. We must to the king and show our strange sights. He must know 'tis none of your daughter nor my sister. We are gone else. Sir, I will give you as much as this old man does when the business is performed, and remain as he says. your pawn till it be brought you.
I will trust you. Walk before toward the seaside. Go on the right hand. I will but look upon the hedge and follow you.
We are blessed in this man, as I may say, even blessed.
Let's be poor as he bids us. He was provided to do us good.
Aye.
If I had a mind to be honest, I see fortune would not suffer me. She drops booties in my mouth. I am courted now with a double occasion. Gold and a means to do the prince my master good, which who knows how that may turn back to my advancement. I will bring these two moles, these blind ones, aboard him. If he think it fit to shore them again, and that the complaint they have to the king concerns him nothing, let him call me rogue for being so far officious, for I'm proof against that title, and what shame else belongs to it. To him will I present them. There may be matter in it.
Sir, you have done enough and have performed a saint-like sorrow. No fault could you make which you have not redeemed, indeed paid down more penitence than done trespass. At the last, do as the heavens have done, forget your evil. With them, forgive yourself.
Whilst I remember her and her virtues, I cannot forget my blemishes in them, and so still think of the wrong I did myself, which was so much that ere less it hath made my kingdom, and destroyed the sweetest companion that e'er man bred his hopes out of.
True, too true, my lord, if one by one you wedded all the world, or from the all that are took something good to make a perfect woman, she you killed would be unparalleled.
I think so. Killed. She I killed. I did so, but thou strikest me sorely to say I did. It is as bitter upon thy tongue as in my thought. Now, good now, say so but seldom.
Not at all, good lady. You might have spoken 1,000 things that would have done the time more benefit and graced your kindness better.
You are one of those would have him wed again.
If you would not so, you pity not the state nor the remembrance of his most sovereign name. Consider little what dangers by his highness fail of issue may drop upon his kingdom and devour in certain lookers on. What were more holy than to rejoice the former queen is well? What holier than for royalty's repair, for present comfort and for future good, to bless the bed of majesty again with a sweet fellow to it?
There is none worthy respecting her that's gone. Besides, the gods will have fulfilled their secret purposes. For hath not the divine Apollo said, is not the tenor of his oracle, that King Leontes shall not have an heir till his lost child be found? Which that it shall is all as monstrous to our human reason as my Antigonus to break his grave and come again to me, who on my life did perish with the infant. 'Tis your counsel my lord should to the heavens be contrary, oppose against their wills. Care not for issue, the crown will find an heir. Great Alexander left his to the worthiest, so his successor was like to be the best.
Good Paulina, who hast the memory of Hermione, I know in honor. Oh, that ever I had squared me to thy counsel. Then, even now, I might have looked upon my queen's full eyes, have taken treasure from her lips.
And left them more rich for what they yielded.
Thou speakst truth. No more such wives. Therefore, no wife, one worse and better used, would make her sainted spirit again possess her corpse, and on this stage where we offenders now appear soul-vexed, and begin, why to me?
Had she such power, she had just cause.
She had, and would incense me to murder her I married.
I should so. Were I the ghost that walked, I bid you mark her eye, and tell me for what dull part in't you chose her. Then I'd shriek, that even your ears should rift to hear me, and the words that followed should be, remember mine.
Stars, stars, and all eyes else dead coals. Fear thou no wife. I'll have no wife, Paulina.
Will you swear never to marry but by my free leave?
Never, Paulina. So be blessed my spirit.
And good my lords, bear witness to his oath.
You tempt him overmuch.
Unless another, as like Hermione as is her picture, affront his eye.
Good madam.
I have done. Yet if my lord will marry, if you will, sir, no remedy but you will, give me the office to choose you a queen. She shall not be so young as was your former, but she shall be such as walked your first queen's ghost. It should take joy to see her in your arms.
My true Paulina, we shall not marry till thou bidst us.
That shall be when your first queen's again in breath, never till then.
One that gives out himself Prince Florizel, son of Polixenes, with his princess, she the fairest I have yet beheld, desires access to your high presence.
What with him? He comes not like to his father's greatness. His approach, so out of circumstance and sudden, tells us 'tis not a visitation framed, but forced by need and accident. What train?
But few, and those but mean.
His princess, say you, with him?
Aye. The most peerless piece of earth, I think, that e'er the sun shone bright on.
Ah, Hermione, as every present time doth boast itself above a better gone, so must thy grave give way to what's seen now. Sir, you yourself have said and writ so, but your writing now is colder than that theme. She had not been, nor was not to be equalled. Thus your verse flowed with her beauty at once. 'Tis shrewdly ebbed to say you have seen a better.
Pardon, madam. The one I have almost forgot. Your pardon. The other, when she has obtained your eye, will have your tongue too. This is a creature, would she begin a sect, might quench the zeal of all professors else, make proselytes of who she but bid follow.
How? Not women?
Women will love her that she is a woman more worth than any man. Men, that she is the rarest of all women.
Go, Cleomenes, yourself assisted with your honored friends, bring them to our embracement. Still, 'tis strange he thus should steal upon us.
Had our prince jewel of children seen this hour, he had paired well with this lord. There was not a full month between their births.
Prithee, no more, cease. Thou know'st he dies to me again when talked of. Sure, when I shall see this gentleman, thy speeches will bring me to consider that which may unfurnish me of reason. Your mother was most true to wedlock, Prince, for she did print your royal father off, conceiving you. Were I but 21, your father's image is so hit in you, his very air, that I should call you brother, as I did him, and speak of something wildly by us performed before. Most dearly welcome. And your fair princess, goddess. Oh, alas, I lost a couple that twixt heaven and earth might thus have stood begetting wonder, as you, gracious couple, do. And then I lost all mine own folly, the society, amity too of your brave father, whom, though bearing misery, I desire my life once more to look on him.
By his command have I here touched Sicilia, and from him give you all greetings that a king at friend can send his brother. And but infirmity, which waits upon worn times, hath something seized his wished ability. He had himself the land and waters twixt your throne and his measured to look upon you. Whom he loves, he bade me say so, more than all the scepters and those that bear them living.
Oh, my brother, good gentleman, the wrongs I have done thee stir afresh within me, and these thy offices, so rarely kind, are as interpreters of my behindhand slackness, welcome hither, as is the spring to the earth. And hath he too exposed this paragon to the fearful usage, at least ungentle, of the dreadful Neptune, to greet a man not worth her pains, much less the adventure of her person?
Good my lord, she came from Libya.
Where the warlike Smalus, that noble honoured lord, is feared and loved?
Most royal sir, from thence. From him whose daughter his tears proclaimed his, parting with her. Thence, a prosperous south wind friendly, we have crossed, to execute the charge my father gave me for visiting your highness. My best train I have from your Sicilian shores dismissed, who for Bohemia bend to signify not only my success in Libya, sir, but my arrival and my wife's in safety here where we are.
The blessed gods purge all infection from our air whilst you do climate here. You have a holy father, a graceful gentleman, against whose person so sacred as it is, I have done sin, for which the heavens, taking angry note, have left me issueless, and your father's blessed, as he from heaven merits it, with you, worthy his goodness. What might I have been, might I, a son and daughter, now have looked on such goodly things as you?
Most noble sir, that which I shall report will bear no credit, were not the proof so nigh. Please you, great sir, Bohemia greets you from himself by me, desires you to attach his son, who has his dignity and duty both cast off, fled from his father, from his hopes, and with a shepherd's daughter.
Where's Bohemia? Speak.
Here in your city. I now came from him. I speak amazedly, and it becomes my marvel and my message. To your court, whilst he was hastening in the chase, it seems, of this fair couple, meets he on the way the father of this seeming lady, and her brother, having both their country quitted with this young prince.
Camillo has betrayed me, whose honour and whose honesty till now endured all weathers.
Laid so to his charge, he's with the king, your father.
Who? Camillo?
Camillo, sir. I spake with him, who now has these poor men in question. Never saw I wretches so quake. They kneel, they kiss the earth, forswear themselves as often as they speak. Bohemia stops his ears and threatens them with divers deaths in death.
Oh, my poor father. The heavens set spies upon us, will not have our contract celebrated.
You are married?
We are not, sir, nor are we like to be. The stars, I see, will kiss the valleys first. The odds for high and lows alike.
My lord, is this the daughter of a king?
She is, when once she is my wife.
That once, I see, by your good father's speed will come on very slowly. I am sorry, most sorry, that you have broken from his liking where you were tied in beauty, and as sorry your choice is not so rich in worth as beauty, that you might well enjoy her.
Dear, look up. Though fortune, visible an enemy, should chase us with my father, power no jot hath she to change our loves. Beseech you, sir, remember, since you owed no more to time than I do now. With thought of such affections, step forth, mine advocate. At your request, my father will grant precious things as trifles.
Would he do so? I'd beg your precious mistress, which he counts but a trifle.
Sir, my liege, your eye hath too much youth in't. Not a month for your queen died. She was worth more such gazes than what you look on now.
I thought of her, even in these looks I made. But your petition is yet unanswered. I will to your father. Your honour not o'erthrown by your desires, I am friend to them and you. Upon which errand I now go toward him. Therefore follow me, and mark what way I make. Come, good my lord.
Beseech
meet you, sir. Were you present at this relation?
I was by at the opening of the fardel, heard the old shepherd deliver the manner how he found it, whereupon, after a little amazedness, we were all commanded out of the chamber. Only this, methought I heard the shepherd say, he found the child.
I would most gladly know the issue of it.
I make a broken delivery of the business, but the changes I perceived in the king and Camillo were very notes of admiration. They seemed almost, with staring on one another, to tear the cases of their eyes. There was speech in their dumbness, language in their very gesture. They looked as they had heard of a world ransomed or one destroyed. A notable passion of wonder appeared in them, but the wisest beholder, that knew no more but seeing, could not say if the importance were joy or sorrow. But in the extremity of the one it must needs be. Here comes a gentleman that haply knows more than news, Rogero.
Nothing but bonfires. The oracle is fulfilled, the king's daughter is found. Such a deal of wonder is broken out within this hour that ballad makers cannot be able to express it. Oh, here comes the Lady Paulina, steward. He can deliver you more. How goes it now, sir? This news, which is called true, is so like an old tale that the verity of it is in strong suspicion. Has the king found his heir?
Most true, if ever truth were pregnant by circumstance. That which you hear, you'll swear you see. There is such unity in the proofs. The mantle of Queen Hermione's, a jewel about the neck of it, the letters of Antigonus found with it, which they know to be his character, the majesty of the creature in resemblance of the mother, the affection of nobleness which nature shows above her breeding, and many other evidences proclaim her with all certainty to be the king's daughter. Did you see the meeting of the two kings?
No.
Oh, then have you lost a sight which was to be seen, cannot be spoken of. There might you have beheld one joy crown another, so and in such manner that it seemed sorrow wept to take leave of them, for their joy waded in tears. There was casting up of eyes, holding up of hands, with countenance of such distraction that they were to be known by garment, not by favour. Our king, being ready to leap out of himself for joy of his found daughter, as if that joy were now become a loss, cries, "Oh, thy mother, thy mother!" Then asks Bohemia forgiveness, then embraces his son-in-law, and then again worries he his daughter with clipping her. Now he thanks the old shepherd, which stands by like a weather-bitten candidate of many kings' reigns. I never heard of such another encounter, which lames reports to follow it and undoes description to do it.
What, pray you, became of Antigonus that carried hence the child?
Like an old tale still, which will have matter to rehearse, though credit be asleep and not an ear open. He was torn to pieces with a bear. Oh, this avouches the shepherd's son, who is not only his innocence, which seems much to justify him, but a handkerchief and rings of his that Paulina knows.
What became of his bark and his followers?
Racked, the same instance of their master's death and in the view of the shepherd, so that all the instruments which aided to expose the child were even then lost when it was found. But oh, the noble combat that twixt joy and sorrow was fought in Paulina. She had one eye declined for the loss of her husband, another elevated that the oracle was fulfilled. She lifted the princess from the earth, and so locks her in embracing, as if she would pin her to her heart that she might no more be in danger of losing.
The dignity of this act was worth the audience of kings and princes, for by such was it acted.
One of the prettiest touches of all, and that which angled for mine eyes, caught the water, though not the fish, was when at the relation of the queen's death, with the manner how she came to it bravely confessed and lamented by the king, how attentiveness wounded his daughter, till from one sign of dolour to another, she did with an alas, I would fain say, bleed tears, for I am sure my heart wept blood.
who was most marble there, changed colour. Some swooned, all sorrowed. If all the world could have seen't, the woe had been universal.
Are they returned to the court?
No. The princess, hearing of her mother's statue, which is in the keeping of Paulina, a piece many years in doing, and now newly performed by that rare Italian master, Giulio Romano, who, had he himself eternity and could put breath into his work, would beguile nature of her custom, so perfectly he is her ape. He, so near to Hermione, hath done Hermione, that they say one would speak to her, and stand in hope of answer. Thither with all greediness of affection are they gone, and there they intend to sup.
I thought she had some great matter there in hand, for she hath privately twice or thrice a day, ever since the death of Hermione, visited that removed house. Shall we thither, and with our company piece the rejoicing?
Who would be thence that has the benefit of access? Every wink of an eye some new grace will be born. Our absence makes us unthrifty to our knowledge. Let's along.
Now, had I not the dash of my former life in me, would preferment drop on my head. I brought the old man and his son aboard the Prince, told him I heard them talk of a fardel and I know not what. But he, at that time, overfond of the shepherd's daughter, so he then took her to be, who began to be much seasick and himself little better, extremity of weather continuing, this mystery remained undiscovered. But 'tis all one to me, for had I been the finder out of this secret, it would not have relished among my other discredits. Here come those I've done good to against me will, and already appearing in the blossoms of their fortune.
Come, boy. I am past more children, but thy sons and daughters will be all gentlemen born.
Oh, you are well met, sir. You denied to fight with me this other day because I was no gentleman born. See you these clothes? Say you see them not, and think me still no gentleman born. You were best say these robes are not gentleman born. Give me the lie, do, and try whether I am not now a gentleman born.
I know you are now, sir, a gentleman born.
Aye, and I've been so any time these 4 hours.
And so have I, boy.
So you have, but I was a gentleman born before my father, for the king's son took me by the hand and called me brother. And then the 2 kings called my father brother. And then the prince my brother and the princess my sister called my father father. And so we wept. And there was the first gentleman-like tears that ever we shed.
We may live some to shed many more.
Aye, or else 'twere hard luck being in so preposterous a state as we are.
I humbly beseech you, sir, to pardon me all the faults I've committed to your worship, and to give me a good report to the prince, my master.
Prithee, son, do. For we must be gentle. Now we are gentlemen.
Thou wilt amend thy life?
Aye, and it like your good worship.
Give me thy hands. I will swear to the prince thou art as honest a true fellow as any is in Bohemia.
You may say it, but not swear it.
Not swear it? Now I am a gentleman. Let Boris and Franklin say it, I'll swear it.
How if it be false, son?
If it be ne'er so false, a true gentleman may swear it in the behalf of his friend.
Oh.
And I'll swear to the prince thou art a tall fellow of thy hands, and that thou wilt not be drunk. But I know thou art no tall fellow of thy hands, and that thou wilt be drunk. But I'll swear it, and I would thou wouldst be a tall fellow of thy hands.
I will prove so, sir, to my power.
Aye, by any means prove a tall fellow. If I do not wonder how thou darest venture to be drunk, not being a tall fellow, trust me not. Hark! The kings and the princes. Our kindred are going to see the Queen's picture. Come, follow us. We'll be thy good masters.
O grave and good Paulina, the great comfort that I have had of thee.
What, sovereign sir, I did not well. I meant well. All my services you have paid home. but that you have vouchsafed, with your crowned brother and these your contracted heirs of your kingdoms, my poor house to visit, it is a surplus of your grace, which never my life may last to answer.
Oh, Paulina, we honor you with trouble. But we came to see the statue of our queen. Your gallery have we passed through, not without much content in many singularities, but we saw not that which my daughter came to look upon, the statue of her mother.
As she lived peerless, so her dead likeness, I do well believe, excels whatever yet you looked upon, or hand of man hath done. Therefore I keep it lonely apart. But here it is. Prepare to see the life as lively mocked as ever still sleep mocked death. Behold, and say 'tis well. I like your silence, if the more shows off your wonder. But yet speak, first you, my liege. Comes it not something near?
Her natural posture. Chide me, dear stone, that I may say indeed thou art Hermione. Or rather thou art she in thy not chiding, for she was as tender as infancy and grace. But yet, Paulina, Hermione was not so much wrinkled, nothing so aged as this seems.
Oh, not by much.
So much the more our carver's excellence, which lets go by some 16 years, and makes her as she lived now.
As now she might have done, so much to my good comfort, as it is now piercing to my soul. Oh, thus she stood, even with such life of majesty, warm life, as now it coldly stands, when first I wooed her. I am ashamed. Does not the stone rebuke me for being more stone than it? O royal peace, there's magic in thy majesty, which hast my evils conjured to remembrance, and from thy admiring daughter took the spirits, standing like stone with thee.
And give me leave, and do not say 'tis superstition, that I kneel and then implore her blessing. Lady, dear queen, that ended when I but began, give me that hand of yours to kiss.
Oh, patience! The statue is but newly fixed, the colour's not dry.
My lord, your sorrow was too sore laid on, which 16 winters cannot blow away, so many summers dry. Scarce any joy did ever so long live. No sorrow but killed itself much sooner.
Dear my brother, let him that was the cause of this have power to take off so much grief from you as he will piece up in himself.
Indeed, my lord, if I had thought the sight of my poor image would thus have wrought you, for the stone is mine, I'd not have showed it.
Do not draw the curtain.
No longer shall you gaze on't, lest your fancy may think anon it moves.
Let be, would I were dead, but that methinks already. What was he that did make it? See, my lord, would you not deem it breathed, and that those veins did verily bear blood?
Masterly done. The very life seems warm upon her lip.
The fixture of her eye has motion in't, as we are mocked with art.
I'll draw the curtain. My lord's almost so far transported that he'll think anon it lives.
Oh, sweet Paulina, make me to think so 20 years together. No settled senses of the world can match the pleasure of that madness. Let it alone.
I am sorry, sir, I have thus far stirred you. But I could afflict you further.
Do, Paulina, for this affliction hath a taste as sweet as any cordial comfort. Still, methinks, there is an air comes from her. What fine chisel could ever yet cut breath? Let no man mock me, for I will kiss her.
Good my lord, forbear. The ruddiness upon her lip is wet. You'll mar it if you kiss it. Stain your own with oily painting. Shall I draw the curtain?
No, not these 20 years.
So long could I stand by, a looker on.
Either forbear, quit presently the chapel, or resolve you for more amazement. If you can behold it, I'll make the statue move indeed. Descend and take you by the hand, but then you'll think, which I protest against, I am assisted by wicked powers.
What you can make her do, I am content to look on. What to speak, I am content to hear. For 'tis as easy to make her speak as move.
It is required you do awake your faith, then all stand still. Or those that think it is unlawful business I am about, let them depart.
Proceed. No foot shall stir.
Music, awake her. Strike. 'Tis time. Descend. Be stone no more. Approach. Strike all that look upon with marvel. Come, I'll fill your grave up. Stir, nay, come away. Bequeath to death your numbness, for from him dear life redeems you. You perceive she stirs. Start not. Her action shall be holy as you hear my spell is lawful. Do not shun her until you see her die again, for then you kill her double. Nay, present your hand. When she was young, you wooed her. Now in age is she become the suitor.
Oh, she's warm. If this be magic, let it be an art lawful as eating.
She embraces him.
She hangs about his neck. If she pertain to life, let her speak too.
Aye, and make manifest where she hath lived, or how stolen from the dead.
That she is living, were it but told you, should be hooted at like an old tale. But it appears she lives, though yet she speak not. Mark a little while. Please you to interpose, fair madam. Kneel and pray your mother's blessing. Turn, good lady. Our Perdita is found.
You gods look down, and from your sacred vials pour your graces upon my daughter's head. Tell me, mine own, where hast thou been preserved? Where lived? How found thy father's court? For thou shalt hear that I, knowing by Paulina that the oracle gave hope thou wast in being, have preserved myself to see the issue.
There's time enough for that, lest they desire upon this push to trouble your joys with like relation. Go together. You precious winners all, your exaltation partake to everyone. I, an old turtle, will wing me to some withered bough, and there my mate, that's never to be found again. Lament till I am lost.
Oh, peace, Paulina. Thou shouldst a husband take by my consent, as I by thine a wife. This is a match, and made betweens by vows. Thou hast found mine, but how is to be questioned. For I saw her as I thought dead, and have in vain said many a prayer upon her grave. I'll not seek far for him. I partly know his mind to find thee an honorable husband. Come, Camillo, and take her by the hand, whose worth and honesty is richly noted, and here justified by us, a pair of kings. Let's from this place, what, look upon my brother, both your pardons, that ere I put between your holy looks my ill suspicion. This your son-in-law, and son unto the king, whom heaven's directing is troth plight to your daughter. Good Paulina, lead us from hence where we may leisurely each one demand an answer to his part, performed in this wide gap of time since first we were dissevered. Hastily lead away.